Hey guys, Panther 0822 here. It is din time with the Panther time. I'm gonna give it a couple. I'm gonna give it a minute or two. I'm gonna do my customary share outs, and then we'll get started. So until then, I've got something for you guys to enjoy, and yeah. So we'll get started here in a few. You know, that's what I thought too, Trouble. Let me know if the music is overpowering the mic again. That info when I was doing the earlier stream was actually very, very helpful, so thank you for that. Actually, I have, but the largest issue is that a lot of the games that I've played, I don't actually have good quality thumbnails like these to use, because most of these are actually from these are well, I mean, these are Dragon Age stuff, so this is stuff that I got when I installed the DA stuff. So although sadly, I didn't really get any of this kind of cool stuff with DA2 or Inquisition, which really actually kind of sucks. So. Although I could probably actually hunt for some good quality thumbnails. Welcome, welcome. We'll get started here in a few. They shouldn't be too hard to find, or at least you'd think they wouldn't be too hard to find. So. The Fable one, though, that one's actually a screenshot that I took along with this one of Golf with Friends. Those are actual screenshots that I took, so. All right. Hey guys, Panther 0822 here. So That little bit was actually just an experiment. I always take a minute or two to share things out and things like that. So I figured I'd actually set up like a slideshow with the music in the background so that you guys had something to look at and something to listen to while I was more or less doing the boring maintenance stuff that I do. So I do have a Discord. Yes, I do. Panther 0822, like pretty much everything. So I think the only thing that I don't use Panther 0822 for is my PlayStation ID. I think my PlayStation ID is Lynx LYNX, like the cat, 0822. I think. Yeah, my PlayStation ID is the only one that so need to move this a little bit over this way. Resize that a little bit. So, Discord. If I remember it, I can actually link Discord with the current thing that I'm using right now, but I'd have to actually take a minute and hunt, which is a project honestly for a different day. So. Okay. I'll have to look into that because I do, like I said, I do have Discord, so yeah. Anyways, today's actually been a really productive day as far as videos goes. I think today is a day that I've uploaded. I think this is the most videos I've uploaded in one day, or at least more specifically, most videos I've streamed in one day. Because I did a stream, or my first stream today was a pretty lengthy stream of me and the family playing some Terraria. After that, I played some Knights of the Old Republic, and unfortunately that recording was a bit blotchy. I was not exactly happy with it, but there's not much I can do about it. And then after that, I played Fable to completion, so you guys should go check that out. I was able to finish out the first Fable. I would like to launch into the second Fable, but that would require me to get a capture card, which I currently don't have, and I'd have to move my Xbox over to where I could plug it in, and it's a tiny ass desk, so I don't really have the space to do that right now. I am looking at getting a bigger desk, but that'll take... Yeah, they were good streams today. Anyways, I'd have to get a bigger desk for that. And then I changed the frames per second from 30 to 60 when I was streaming Fable, and that seemed to actually help tremendously. So I think I need to remember to maintain 60 frames opposed to 30 frames. So... Alright. I'm trying to do something on my desktop, but for some reason it's not letting me actually do it. So I'm going to have to use my phone. So, Alright, sorry guys, the wife was actually just trying to call, so I need to put the carousel back up so that I can talk with the wife for a few. So give me a sec, and like I said, I'm gonna put the carousel up so you guys can look at the images, and then we'll be back because I'm not gonna stop the stream and then restart it. I'm not gonna do that. So I apologize for the brief pause, but I do need to at least talk with the wife for a few. So. Alrighty, sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean for that to take as long as it did, but that is alright. So the wife is doing well. She's over at over at her friend's Alexia's place. So I'll get my wife back tomorrow. Not having a vehicle sucks. But anyways, yes, I had. I mean, to be honest, I had a fantastic day. It was actually really fun to be able to get as many streams out as I did. Wow. I do not blame you, buddy. I'd be tired myself. So, so yeah, I mean, as far as the streams go today, I was really happy and really proud of that. Trouble, you'd asked me as far as the appointment that the wife and I had earlier today. So the appointment today was actually for my wife, and I'm not I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it was a good appointment, and we were able to get the things accomplished that we needed to get accomplished. So that is the good news. The good news is we made progress in that particular department. So, so what's next as far as gameplay goes? We just, like I said, I just wrapped up the first Fable. Ordinarily, like I said, if I had the equipment, I would absolutely go in and I would do the second Fable, but I don't have that. So, so what I'm going to do is we're going to go into The Witcher. I've got The Witcher. I've got the first Witcher game. I wish it could be played with a controller. That would make me really, really happy. But it is a keyboard-based control game, so I'll just have to deal with it like I deal with Dragon Age Awakenings being a complete keyboard control as well. I prefer to have an actual controller in my hands. I feel the control of the game is a lot smoother a lot of times with a controller versus keyboard, but it is what it is. There's really not much I can do about it. So, so we're gonna get into The Witcher. What I really want to do is I want to play through all three of the Witcher games. Is what I'd like to do. So I still need to buy the second and third one, but I want to get through the first before I buy the second and third one. So I want to get through one, then buy the next one, finish that one, and then buy the next one after that. Is what I'd like to do. But I also need to be a little bit more proactive as far as looking at Steam, what games are on early access, seeing what games are out, are upcoming, and taking a look at games that I think would fit. Well, I guess in a way fit the channel, if that makes any sense. There's a couple of games that there's one game that I tried, and honestly, other than the fact that I just got owned. I enjoyed the game, and it was Fury. Fury was a fun game, but Fury is a good example of why I don't play fighter games, or why I generally don't play first-person shooter games, is because I just plain suck at them. And Fury was on the easiest difficulty level, as is most of the games I play. I put them on the easiest difficulty level because I suck at video games. I enjoy playing them, and I love sharing that experience with you guys, but I suck compared to other people. So. So that's so we've got The Witcher that's coming up, and then after KOTOR is done, I've got actually quite a few Star Wars games that I have on my Steam wish list that I'm gonna get, and that we're gonna go through and play. Some of them are still our first-person shooter or in that kind of category, so where it's not necessarily my typical type of gameplay. They're games that I've either wanted to play or have played and either A, just never beat the game, or I've played and beaten and I want to go back through and I want to play them again now that it's been years since I've played them. So, and I've got 2 Star Wars games on the computer plus one other that I think is a Star Wars game, but I'm not entirely positive. But I don't have a lack of games. I've got plenty of games that I'm gonna be playing. It's just a matter of prioritizing. May 4th, or May the 4th be with you, is coming up, and what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is either do an extremely long stream of KOTOR, of the second Star Wars of KOTOR, and see if we might be able. I doubt we'll be able to beat the game by May 4th. Although I could be wrong about that. The game is long in its own, but it's also relatively short to a certain degree. So, I do have Mysteries of the Sith. I want to actually play that one a little bit more on my own time because I got lost in the map. I couldn't figure out where I needed to go, and because the game is such an old game, with the graphics, it's a bit hard for me to figure out where I need to go. So I want to play the game a little bit, get a little bit of the game under my belt a little more, so that I've got an idea, and then go from there. And I'm probably gonna just start an alternative character so that I don't mess with the gameplay that I've already done, because I don't want to do that. Oh, okay. Let me actually get to my desktop here really quick so I can actually find it. Because it's not Fury. It's a game called Crusader. Crusader No Remorse is the name of the game. It is a Steam game. The picture, the thumbnail for the game looks like a Mandalorian. However, that being said, that particular armor set is not restrictive of Star Wars. Star Wars is just the most dominant source for the particular armor that's depicted. So that's what I'm trying to... And see, that's what I was trying to figure out. Although I could probably just go to Steam and actually take a look at... Where are you? There you are. I could be wrong. It may not be a Steam game. It might be an Origin game. I'm trying to remember where I got it from. I think it's an Origin game, actually. Yeah, I think it's Origins, not Steam. It's now gonna bug me a little bit until I find out. I could launch the game, but I don't really want to launch the game. I've also got a couple of other games like Origami. I started playing Origami and I actually want to play more of it. It's a really cool game. Out of like the 20 some odd minutes I've played out of that game, Origami is actually a really cool game and I really like it. So I'd like to actually play through that and actually beat that one. And then I've also got Adventure Time or Adventure something 3D, which is a really cool game. Kind of an open world RPG, really cool RPG. Well, it's an MMO RPG, so I've also got Baldur's Gate, which I want to get through. There's something called Eve Online that I want to look at, and I mean, there's not, like I said, I don't have a lack of games by any means. Is Origins going to launch, or is it going to be a pain in the derriere like normal? Origins tends to be a pain in the butt. It's annoying, but it is what it is. Oh, we've got a very important appointment tomorrow at 3. So I'm not entirely positive I'm going to get any gameplay out tomorrow. Mainly because I've got to actually make sure that... I mean, the house is in pretty clean array as it is. Well, that's not what I wanted. But there's just a few final things that I want to do to make sure that the house is, well, apartment is in good order. So, I will let you guys know. I also need to coordinate with a friend of mine because he's got a vehicle that we are going to have towed and looked at, and as long as the repairs aren't too expensive, we're gonna get the car from him, pay for the repairs, and then finally have a vehicle, which will be really nice. Alright, Origins is now coming up. Okay, what? Okay. Oh, I need to fix that. Can I even get into... I shouldn't be offline, but that's fine. Alright, it looks like my Origin access has expired, so I need to re-up my membership as far as that goes. So Um, yeah, that typically happens. I have a hard time sticking to a particular thing. And there's a brother-in-law in the background. So, so anyways, I got an appointment tomorrow. If everything goes well with the appointment, then my wife will be able to get assigned as, more or less my caretaker due to the MS, and will be able to actually get a little bit of an income off of that. So that is what the appointment tomorrow is for. It is for a long-term care specialist to come in, take a look, see if we can actually get my wife set up as a long-term care person for me so that she can get a little bit of an income for that. So that is the plan. So so anyways, tomorrow would normally be a Dragon Age day. I'm not, like I said, I'm not entirely positive I'll be able to get to it, mainly because I've got honestly, I've got some higher priorities that I need to deal with. And as much as I would like to sit down and stream for a bit, I'm not sure I'll be able to. Although it depends on how early I'm up. If I'm up early enough, I'll be able to at least maybe get something out earlier in the morning, like pre-noon type early. And then what else? Thursday we'll be back to KOTOR. And then Friday will be Magic, and probably we'll be Witcher. We'll probably launch The Witcher on Friday. Although it'd be interesting if Friday was Friday the 13th, but that's not for another. So. Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay. So sorry, I was being a little introspective there for a minute. So more than likely we'll end up starting The Witcher on Friday. I might start it earlier than that. I'm not entirely positive. I think starting it Friday will be a good thing because it'll be in place of Fable, which I finished out today because I did that final push. So, so I think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna start Witcher on Friday. I've seen a lot of people do some cosplay of The Witcher on my Facebook stuff. So I mean, it's and people have recommended the series to me on more than one occasion. I try. There's some days where I feel that the stream is not as good as it could be, but here's kind of changing subject, and this is kind of a subject that's kind of actually important to talk about. There's a lot of people who think that you need to be 100% of yourself 100% of the time. And that's just simply put, that's not true, because nobody is 100% of the time. It just doesn't happen. You might have a day where you're on top of it and everything's rocking and rolling and everything's good, and the next day everything is blowing up in your face and nothing's going the way that you need it to. And so it's just a very stark contrast. I've had those days, I've had those weeks where, and I've had it all in a day where the day starts off as a kick-ass day and then goes to absolute shit and then becomes another kick-ass day by the end of the day. So I mean, it's just the way that things are. So here's kind of what I found to this is my secret. and it's something that other people have told me as well, and it's important to remember. And here's what it is: you cannot be 100% 100% of the time. However, you can be 100% of whatever percentage you are at. I'll give you an example. If you're at 20% of your best, you can give 100% of that 20. Okay? Now, a lot of people, especially if you're a mathematician and like math, are going, that doesn't work. It does work, because here's where it's at. If you're at 20%, if you're functioning at 20%, you just didn't get enough sleep, you're not as conscious, or whatever it is, but whatever it is that's keeping you at that 20%, you can be 100% of that 20. Because you can go into that 20% and go, you know what, I'm not feeling it, but I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to get my coffee, I'm going to get my Mountain Dew, I'm going to get my Java Juice, or whatever it is, you're going to get that thing that's going to get you that energy so that you can be the best of where you're at. And that's actually the important thing. The important thing is to work on being 100% functional of no matter what percentage you're at. So don't focus on trying to be 100% 100% of the time. It doesn't work. And honestly, you're more or less going to just annoy the hell out of yourself and stress yourself out far more than you really need to, when you can go, you know what? I've got 15 projects today, and I know I'm only going to get 3 done. Be okay with the 3 done, and it'll help. So I actually you mentioned that last time, and I actually seriously have put some thought into it. I do actually have something that I wrote years ago, and I do mean that, years ago. Initially, I wanted to be a Star Wars writer. I wanted to write stuff in the Star Wars universe and be an author. That was, God, that's gonna date myself. That was 20 plus years ago. Very, very, very long time ago. My dad, being the supportive jackass that he was, well, that's a bit of a knock on my dad. My dad, for the most part, was very supportive, but like all parents, could be an absolute ass at times. So, well, that's actually one of the things that I wanted to do, is I actually wanted to be a motivational speaker. So, and there's no reason that I can't work on that particular goal and try and pursue that particular path now. So, but anyways, my dad was, this field's oversaturated, don't waste your time. So I went, all right, I didn't give up on it. What I did was I went, you know what, I'll write something that I think would be interesting, and that, from what I know of the book field, most people don't write about, which is telepathy. And I talked around with a few other people who were very heavy readers and knew the book industry far better than I do, and honestly still do, because, again, I don't do a lot. I haven't had any reason to do any research into the book world, so I don't know how many authors actually write about people with telepathy or things like that, other than like the DC universe or the Marvel universe. And even in there's a very small pickings of mentalists within that category. So, so I wrote a sci-fi novel called, it's a horrendous name, or title, but I was really young when I wrote this, and I've been very seriously debating rewriting the name or changing the name. But anyways, they called the series The Baggers Chronicles. I had written 2 individual stories. I have only one of them. I don't know what happened to the first. And the first one, if I remember, it was the original. The one that I have, I think, is the sequel. Or I could have that backwards. I could have the first and not have the sequel. I don't remember. I'd have to actually look. But back at that particular point in time, I had a horrendous time writing in a standard paragraph format. And honestly, I still do. I've gotten a lot better. I can actually write things, and you could consider it standard APA format, although I hate APA format. APA format's a bitch to write in. But the format I wrote in was script format, where I'd write in the character's name and then their dialogue and then like a stage direction or something like that, because I'm a horrendous theater nerd. I spent pretty much all of my junior high and high school either behind the set or in front of the set, because I was either managing a stage, assisting the stage manager as an assistant stage manager, or up running a spotlight or running sound. That's what I spent my high school life doing. So, anyways, and in high school, in junior high and high school, that's just how I wrote. I had a fantastic English teacher who is actually the mom of one of my best friends, who is my English teacher, and she helped me break out and actually helped me start actually writing in what people would consider normal format. And actually in 8th grade, I won third or fourth prize actually with with something I wrote. So yeah, that's. I'm gonna take a swig here. My throat's getting. So, anyways, I have this. I have a story that I wrote, and it was basically everybody was a mentalist, but or had mental powers, but specifically each person was unique as far as their particular ability goes. I didn't want to write it in a way that everybody has telepathy. Basically, I didn't want to write it as a one-trick pony storyline. So I made it specific to where each character controlled a specific element. So one of the characters had pyrokinesis. Another character controlled water, and I don't know if there's a specific term for a water, maybe water kinesis. I mean, that's kind of a cheap cop out, but I mean, hey, it kind of works. And then the other thing that I did with the story, which I thought was pretty unique, and I'm a little leery of sharing because I'm concerned that somebody might steal the idea, but one of the main things that I thought was interesting in the way that I wrote the story was that when it came to weaponry, the particular user, and I called them Telps. I wrote this when I was really young, and I really haven't changed anything because I haven't seriously gone back and looked at it to go, okay, what can I do as far as things goes, although I think I just had an idea as far as what to change Telps to. Although I think I had a complete thing for what Telp stood for. Again, I'd have to actually look at what I wrote. Sorry, I think I found what I was looking for. I did. Yeah. So I found my binder. Yeah, I found it. I'll have to retype it. It's a really cool story. I'm gonna have to read this and actually type it in. Actually, that's exactly what I would look at doing. Is I'd I I would self-publish is what I would do. But anyways, what a tulip could do as far as a weapon goes is they could. I'll use a lightsaber because it's the first thing that comes to mind immediately, or like a broadsword. Um, they could physically manifest the particular weapon that they wanted to use. But there's a catch, and if you and that's what I will leave that with, because I think you're right as far as that goes, Triple, as I should probably hold on to that. Anyways, so anyways, the first story was I wrote dealt with a particular issue, and then the second one, which to me had a little bit more humor in it, was there was basically there was a student who was a telp, and he was wanting to learn, but he had a horrendous. In a lot of ways, it's kind of a Southern attitude towards women. Women belong in the kitchen. They're not good for anything other than specific tasks, and I'm not really, yeah. Anyway, so I mean that was kind of this this kid's mentality. He wanted to train with the master. He wanted to train with Baggers, who's more or less the headmaster and kind of the main dude in the storyline. But Baggers, knowing that the kid has a horrendous issue with women, intentionally places him with one of the women instructors, and the story progresses from there. So that was the second storyline. And again, I'll have to read through the one that I just pulled because I'm not sure which one it is. But yeah, and I actually, because my wife is an author, I asked her at one point to actually co-write with me the story, because most of the time when I put stuff on paper, most people, if you don't know how I speak or how I put things on paper, don't get it. You have to try and, I mean, you basically have to know me for a while to actually understand what I was trying to actually say. So most of the time my wife deciphers what I was trying to say because I don't always get it on paper very well. So she's yeah, she is actually self-published. The book that I was showing you guys, that little booklet or one shot, well, not quite one shot, although it could be considered a one shot for as short as it is. She actually self-published that one. That's how that one actually got out. So, but I've been wanting to actually go back through and actually read what I've written as far as the Baggers Chronicles goes. Maybe actually give it a bit better name than the Baggers Chronicles, because Baggers, it's a made-up name, and I was really young when I made up the name, so I'm not entirely positive I really want to keep it. Along with the names that along with the names for the characters that I did, because the names that I used were they weren't great names. But again, that was 20 plus years ago, and I was a much younger and much different person then. So I could have the first one out. It's writing and publishing takes time, and more specifically, it's the editing that takes time. Because I've already got the story down, at this point, all I have to do is transpose it from there into the computer, and then from there, edit and go from there. So I could probably have this one potentially out by the end of the year, but I'm not entirely positive. That's a maybe. It's not a bad idea, though. That might work. Again, I'm not entirely positive I'm going to keep the telp part. Mainly, I mean, the reason why I called them telps was mainly because I was just shortening telepathy or telepathic. That's pretty much why I did it. And it was something easy. To do. What was the name that I just thought of? I thought of a name a minute ago and said I should probably write that down, which means I should have, but I completely forgot. That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay. I was thinking of renaming them kinetics. I think that might actually work a little bit better. And that's something that people might actually have a little easier time relating to. I found for the most part, people need to find something to relate to. But then again, it's kind of one of those things where you always go, yeah, maybe I'll keep it as kind of weird as it is, but so. Anyways, yeah. So I think that's what I've got for you guys tonight. Tomorrow, like I said, I've got an appointment at 3 in the afternoon, so I've got to get the house at least a little bit more organized than it is. It's not bad, but it could be a little better. And then I've got some other things that I've got to do as far as like some phone calls and some arranging and things like that. So that's actually a good idea. I like that. Definitely worth looking into as far as that goes. It's a good idea as far as still keeping the initial concept in there somehow. So, anyways, I'm starting to fade and my throat's starting to go on me even with the drink. So, I will at the very least have a vlog for you guys tomorrow. So, again, I'm doing everything I can to keep at least the vlogs going daily. I know I have a hard time with it at times. A lot of it honestly sometimes is just my MS kicking me in the ass, and I've just got to go, nope, we're still doing this. So, read that. Should even if it's a build. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing with that. The mind is a very interesting thing, and that in and of itself is its own. That's its own conversation and its own blog by itself. So I think I will jot that down for the idea for an idea for a vlog itself. So oh, I know. It gave me an idea um as far as a vlog and things like that. And honestly, I need to start actually writing things down as far as um vlog ideas and things and subjects that I want to actually cover and things like that. Although if there's a particular subject that you guys would like to hear me talk about, put it in the comments. Go to Facebook, send me a message there. Or again, if you've got me on Twitter, you could tweet the idea to me there too. So I mean, there's different places and different ways you guys can keep in contact with me and communicate with me and things like that. So like I said, if there's a subject you guys would like to hear my thoughts on, I'm by no means an expert, but I'll at least share my thoughts with you guys and yeah, I can share my thoughts as far as different stuff goes. So anyways, I really do need to end this because I'm starting to fade out and drop conversation altogether. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new, please hit the subscribe button down below with the bell icon. And if you like the video, hit the thumbs up button for me and share it out and let other people enjoy the video with you. So until the next time, this is Panther 0822. Peace out, guys. Have a great night.